Hello, everybody. This is Andy here. Welcome back to Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz. Today we are going to be going over set 2 or part 2 of Lycoris Recoil. Joined today by normal guests Carmen and Ollie.
What's up?
Is this like a ASMR version?
Is it? Yeah, it's the chill.
Yeah, is it
The
doing it
chill
for you, Ollie?
slide. Is it doing it for you?
Am I doing it for you?
It's doing it.
Getting there.
It's doing it?
Yeah, we're getting there.
All right.
All right. New content stream. Weiss Schwarz ASMR.
I'm not keeping that up the whole time.
Yeah, no, this is a little.
I don't have the microphone for it too. This is like a $20 headset. All right, who the hell is this guy?
He's
not
Majima.
He's not
He's a villain. He's a
Chad
villain.
Majima.
He's a terrorist. He wants to blow everything up and kill everybody.
Does he actually have terrorist trait?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so this is like the bad guy, I
Dude,
guess.
he's so
What's his name?
Mm-hmm. Majima.
What's his name?
I vibe with
Majima.
terrorism.
Damn.
Okay.
He said it.
Cut that out, Carmen. Cut that out. Cut that out.
No.
Leave it in. No, cut it out. All right.
You heard it from me.
When you play him, if you have another Lyco or weapon character, he gets 2,000 power. So on play, see, that's weird. Why would, if he's like the bad guy, why would he get more power if you have another?
Because he's got to kill them. No, I don't know.
Does he kill your own field? I don't know.
He's just balanced.
Okay, whatever. He's 3,500 power. And then when this is reversed, you can discard a card, look at 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose a Lyco or a weapon character. Add to your hand. They buff the Rize effect. Holy shit! Did they buff it?
It's more like
no.
This is like
the Rize effect is like you look first. Yeah.
This is like on reverse Akatsuki. It's like weird timing, but the fact that he like clears a lane, he's like 35 is actually pretty good. I don't know. I can never decide like with this card or like the Fukuzero or like another card that mills. I ended up not playing this, but other people do play it. There's so many options for level 0 mill. I think it just comes down to like what timings you like or can stomach. I much prefer on death to on reverse. Even if this can take anything and the Fukuzero can only take level 1 or higher. So I usually use the Mizuki, but people that don't care about that as much play this card. Think it's personal preference really. I don't know. I really like the flexibility of on death, but like this card is like fine. The fact that he's a 35 and can kill stuff is really good.
For me, it's what you said, Carmen. Like we're like two sides of like the same coin or whatever, or different coins. I don't know. But like
yeah, I don't know how you say
I'm more where you prefer like the trigger of it being on death as opposed to on reverse. I'm much more prefer the effect. And that's the big issue I have with those like level 1 Fukuzero Chiori effect is that if I'm at level 0, I can't grab another level 0. It like limits you into what you can grab, which is really annoying for me. So the fact that this can like grab anything and like it makes it feel like a better opener to me. You can play this down. If they run it over, you can like draw into another level 0 to replace it, which I like. But despite me liking this sort of profile better, I think it's pretty tough competition. Like the Fukuzero we looked at earlier, the yellow one was just so cracked. So I think that's just a much better card.
Can we call this version of the profile Majima then?
Sure, we can call it whatever you want.
Is this the first one?
Well, but we can't call this Majima because Majima has an even more unique, more cracked.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so we have to come up with. We'll have to wait for the next character.
You're right.
My bad. Has this.
Majima's so cool. He's my favorite character in the show.
That's concerning. Next card.
Well, I mean, you're a terrorist, so I mean, you said so already.
Dude, he's such a Chad. It's
awesome.
Wait,
this is the wrong 2-2 event. I put both on here because I'm stupid.
What is that? The Chad terrorist? Is that what
he's also voiced? Yeah, he's also voiced by Kirito.
Yeah, he is voiced by Kirito.
Okay, it's kind of based.
All right. We got this 1-0, 4,500 Climax combo on attack. If you have the door and 2 or more other characters, you can look it up to 4, take a character, or this blue 2-2 event. Show it to your opponent, add it to hand, send the rest to waiting room, then choose one of your opponent's characters, and it can't move to other slots. It's combo plus random angle shot upside effect. The new power creep of Weiss Schwarz. Where this is a totally normal, totally serviceable Magro that also just fucks on standby for fun. Very funny against Gura. If your opponent's still playing standby Gura, and they standby Gura out, and you just be like, haha, my level 1 combo freezes it, get fucked. Which is very funny. But also just generally good against standby. Also nice that it's on a door. There's another card that goes with like playing a lot of doors. The finisher is also a door. 2-2 events, not anything to write home about. It's just one of those 2-2 like +2 kind of events. But
fuck, this sits big too.
Good.
This sits at 65.
55.
55, whatever.
Yeah. It's fine.
It's solid. What you said earlier about like the thing about like the angle shooty effect, or what did you say? Like
that's the new power creep of Weiss Schwarz.
New power creep
is like print a totally normal like vanilla-ish combo and then staple an angle shot effect to the end of it for free.
And to be honest, that's what I think those effects needed. There's sort of like like your opponent's character can't move, or they can't like blink and come back, or like any of that stuff. It was never like worth it because you had to like pick or choose. It just needs to be stapled onto something as like you get it for free. It's like these effects are good to have, I think, but you're not going to forego like a good plussing combo to run it. Yeah,
I think it was necessary, and I don't think it like doesn't hurt the card. It just gives the set more options. I
think it's fair. Like modern day and age of the game, I think that's perfectly reasonable.
She's also doing the finger gun. That's a top
we like the finger gun.
Oh yeah, this art, by the way, is fucking incredible. I can't believe this is like a base rare. This looks like it should be like an SP or something.
Yeah, this is like promotional.
This is incredible.
Both of these, like the event and the combo, are promotional art.
Yeah.
All right, Ollie, you get the early play.
We got this 3 Teachy Sato. If you have 4 more others, it's a early play, on play heal. And then when it's played on stage from hand, if you have the levels of attacking in your waiting room until the end of your opponent's turn, this gets 3k power. Pretty serviceable EP.
Yep.
That is a weird effect.
It's effectively just a 11k cross turn healer. It's acceptable.
And just for a ruling clarification here, these effects order however you want. So if the Takina is in your clock, like the top card of your clock, and then you heal it to your waiting room,
you can heal it.
You can still get the 3,000 power.
Yeah, or if it's in your stock and pay it out, that works.
Remember when cross turn 11k early play healers were like premium cards?
I mean, I'm Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Now they're just they're everywhere. They're so medium now.
I don't think it's bad though. I mean, because again, it's another case of like
it's good. It's
you have like an early play healer you'd be playing anyways, and then it just is randomly bigger for no reason.
It's just not enough to be called
power creep.
It's just not
what's
enough
the level
to be called
zero
a mid game anymore. It's a 4K JC. We'll get there.
Oh, okay, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, it's stapled to a card you'd play 4 of, so no issues. It's just not enough to actually hold up the mid game on its own, which is unfortunate.
There was a time where you could just slam like one of these and be like, "All right,
my mid game's fine." Yeah, like, but not anymore.
I mean, on its own, sure, but like you're probably gonna have something behind it, and that's gonna put it over the top. Like if you have like that 1,500 assists behind it, this is like at 12.5 now. That's maybe big enough.
But that's still just okay.
Yeah, mid game's crazy now. All right.
Shut up, Ollie, you fucking rain cloud. Don't rain on my parade.
All right, we got to talk about the finisher now.
Rain on my parade.
Uba!
You read the first part.
Hamana. What's her name? Chisato. When this was played on stage for man, choose a character in your waiting room, add to hand. And this ability can be activated once per turn. At the end of this card's attack, if the door Climax is in your area, you have 2 or more characters, you can stand this. Okay, so it's Salvage is on play, and then
restands.
End of attack, pay 3, ditch 1, restand.
So that's not that's only part
okay.
1. Let's read part 2.
It's part 1.
Takina is on play heal, and then when the door is placed in your climax area, if this is in the front row, you can put a Chisato 3/2 in your hand underneath this card face up as a marker. If you do, all your other characters get 3,000 power, and on attack, your opponent mills 1. If that card's a level 0 or lower card, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Notably, level 0 climaxes are level 0 cards. In this the climax has 2 arts. So,
Hey, you have a brainstorm that can set your opponent's deck.
Yeah, your brainstorm sets your opponent's deck.
Well, what is the first? Wait, what does the first card going under this have to do?
It gives the effect for
the first
cost.
Effect here?
It gives it's just pay for cost. That is cost. The cost is to put a Chisato from your hand underneath the Takina as a marker to give your other characters the on attack burn effect.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. When the door is placed in your front row, you can put a Chisato in your hand. So on climax play, you put an additional copy of the Chisato from your hand into it.
Yes.
If you do, all your other characters get 3,000, and on attack, mill 1 to burn.
The marker is meaningless. It's effectively you're basically ditching the specific Chisato.
You discard a third copy of it. Well, It's not meaningless because it means you need to have like the 3 copies of the card in your hand.
Well, okay, you can also set this up different ways, right? So notably, you see, that's not once per turn, right? And you have a restander. So the ideal, quote-unquote, ideal board is 1 Takina, 2 Chisatos, and then those Chisatos restand, giving you a total of 5 attacks and 4 chances to burn. Or you can have 2 Takinas and 1 Chisato, which is 4 burns and 4 attacks for differing stock cost. So you can always cobble together some combination of these cards in addition to off finishers or whatever to put together the strongest amount of things that you can do for the amount of stock or resources that you have. Notably, there's a card that we will see in red very soon that mid-battle step can give you additional stock. So the fact that Chisato is stock costed means that you can kind of out of nowhere full combo, even when it seems like you're so far away from it. Notably, because the Chisato is on play salvage, means that you really only need 2 Chisatos in hand or 1 Chisato and 1 Takina to go off. Because Chisato grabs Chisato, and then you have the Takina in hand, or 2 Chisatos and each of them grab the extra piece that you need to go off. So the combo kind of like puts itself together out of nowhere, where all you really need is the climax and 2 pieces for full combo. That's a
good point. Yeah, like
a lot more efficient than it reads.
Since it grabs something else, you can just like grab it.
It's a lot like the Assault Lily end board, if you know of that set. Except instead of being Icy Tails to burn, it's mill your opponent's pop if it's a level 0 card, burn 1. It's about in practice, I can tell you, about the same in how often you get the burns. So.
And you said there is a hand to stock, right?
It's not a hand to stock. Well, there's the poop event. But there's also we'll talk about it very soon. There's a way.
Fuck the poop event. I'm talking about something you can salvage.
Yeah, there's a card that sits on your board that can give you additional stock mid combat. We'll see it very soon. So you have a way to like cheat stock by like reversing cards. Because once this Takina goes off, you can like crash it in for the extra stock effect. Because it doesn't need to be on the board anymore. And it gives a ton of power too, which is good for the Chisato because she has to restand. You can't get memory kicked.
Okay, so you guys have played this, right?
Yep.
You've messed around with it. How?
Yes.
Okay, so like the pay 3 ditch one seems expensive, but like you're swinging multiple times to like recoup it. Like how feasible is it to like?
Very efficient. More.
And what's the go-to board? Combo. Is it double Chisato 1?
Double Chisato 1 Takina, and you full combo like 70% of games, I'd say. Because you have ways to cheat stock, and the combo just kind of happens. It like marines into existence, if that makes sense. It just kind of like shows up, And you're like, oh yeah, I can full combo. Like,
Wait, these all have different climaxes, or
no, they're the same climax with
just
two
different art?
different arts. Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
I'm a big fan. I think this combo's
Seems
pretty good.
okay.
It's a lot of interaction. That's the bad part. The soul assist can help with that for setting up sides. The bounce, and the soul assist might be things that you consider when you're playing this combo. But the combo's so efficient, you just kind of play it because it's the best the set has, really.
So, like, what's like the cost? Like, how much stock, how much hand do you need going into it?
I believe it's like the hand is like non-existent. I think it's only 3 hand, like outside of playing the cards, because it's just Sada's cantrip. So I don't even think about the hand ever. It's more like getting the climax, and then because you don't have you just really have climax swap and like pants as a trigger to get your climax. There's not a lot of cantrips to dig into it in the set. Notably because these cards have to sit on board, so you kind of don't want to play check X's and stuff like that. So it's more about having the climax and then stock. I believe it's like 7 or 8 stock to full combo. It's been a while since I cracked this deck out and played it.
Okay.
But I believe it's 7 or 8 stock to full combo. As you play them down, that's 6. And then you have to have 2 floating for the first attack, yeah. The first attack that Chisada restands, swings, swing the talking and swing the other one. So yeah, it's 8. 8 stock. Not hard to do.
Okay, and you get 5 attacks and 4 chances at a burn one.
Yep, and you can set up the first one with the brainstorm. Or hedge your bets. Because remember, if you see a climax, you can mill your opponent's climax out with it as well to get the burn. Because climaxes are level 0.
How do you mill their climax?
You check your opponent's top 2, see a climax and a clean card, move the climax up, attack with Chisato first. It's a level 0 card. You burn 1. Because it mills the card.
To ping it off.
No. It mills the card. So read the talking again. You mill your opponent's top 1, and if it's a level 0 card, then you burn 1. So it doesn't burn the climax off. You just mill your opponent's climax out.
Okay. That mills their card. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. So you mill their deck.
Yes.
I don't know, like, if that matters actually. Like, outside of setting it up, if it matters.
It only matters for the
level
first
3
one.
But,
only for the first one. I'm a big fan of the package, despite the fact that you have to interact. It's very efficient and kind of sculpts itself. I'm a big fan of those. And it has it's a very potent end game. As someone who played a lot of Assault Lily, this is very similar.
Maybe it plays better than it reads. It just reads so like.
It reads very involved, but
I don't
it's very
weak,
easy.
It's like very medium. Like 5 attacks and like maybe a couple burn ones, whatever.
You get all the modularity of like the restander, which can be very powerful.
I think the only frustrating part is the mill. Because
why is that?
Well, you have to mill level 0s at a point of the game where your opponent probably doesn't have a lot of 0s left in their deck, so you're kind of just hoping to snipe climaxes usually.
It's still good though.
I mean, it's about.
Would you consider the odds on it like a coin flip? Like
it's
50-50?
It's about 50-50. Yeah, that's how I always evaluate it.
So like, with 5 attacks, you get
usually 2 burns.
Two burn ones. Yeah.
2 burn ones and 5 swings. It's like pretty decent. Not the best, but the fact that you can do it for close to nothing, realistically, since you don't really play a heavy mid game, you don't have a lot to spend your stock on. This is very easy to do.
I can tell just by like the tone of your voice, Carmen, that this is just like to you. It sounds like this is fine. It's like all right. but like,
look, you
it's not like great. You know what I mean? Like, it's
you
not
want
like
the
like Lycoris Recoil because you can do like 5 attacks and like a few burn ones, right?
yeah, it's look, you want the shows that you love to be good in the game that you like. And sometimes that's not the case, and you have to do the best you can with what you got.
I
And
mean, I personally. Oh, go on.
there's like there are things you can do with this combo to make it seem much better than it is. Notably, pairing it with like the soul assist to set up like sides and exact numbers and like do some really cheeky stuff. But yes, at the end of the day, it's like it's fine. I'm giving it the A because of the efficiency and ease of sculpting with the package, which I think most people will like because they don't have to like really think about putting their full combo together. It just kind of happens, which I think for most people will translate to having better games, especially when you're newer to the game and you're not as on top of your sculpting and stuff yet.
I don't even think it's that. It's just like
having cards that sculpt themselves.
Just the way the game flows, the fact that you can like sculpt into whatever you need, or just like even if you're having a bad game, you can like still like get into the full combo. I don't think it's like a skill issue sort of thing. It's very much like it's convenient.
Yeah, very convenient. It's very convenient and easy to do, which is why I like it. The very like kind of brain off get there, then you can use all your brain power to try to put something together on the actual finish with like a good side or something there off the restand. But it isn't that great. Everybody knows it. We'll get into that to the end. When we get to the end of the set review, we can talk about that part of like a Reco.
For what's worth, I don't think this package is like the actual appeal of the deck.
No, I think it's like
it's
like the level 0 and this other card that lets you kind of flex your stuff. But we're getting there very soon. That card is coming up. All right, we could move on. Rip through a couple utility cards here. I read the Talking so Ollie, this is you.
Level 0 Mizuki. Start your opponent's attack phase. You can pay 1. Run this to the back row. And then start opponent's attack phase. You can discard a card. If you choose one of your other characters, put it underneath this face up as a marker at the start of the next draw phase. Choose one character underneath this card as a marker and place it on any slot. It's Mini Cat Bus.
It's Mater. This is text line for line Mater.
Cat Bus came first.
Well, yeah, you scoop up your card and you run it to the back right. She's driving the escape vehicle, by the way. That's the flavor.
Oh, that's cool.
You throw someone in the car and you run them to the back row. These are fine. You have a better card, the first card in blue, that fulfills like the same purpose. So there's not much reason to play this, but it is a funny flavor card.
She does let you tri-field.
Yeah,
better.
Yeah, very easily. All right, next back to Andy. You get the face card.
Holy shit! Look at that tongue. During your turn, if you have a marker, you get 2,000 power. On play, reveal top. It's a Futaba marker effect. And start of your opponent's draw phase, mill 2. If there's a level 2 or higher among them, you can pop this back to hand. It's a May effect, which is kind of nice. So 3,500 on turn. This seems kind of like the best of both worlds with the mill effects, right? Well, I guess if you whiff the mill, it's like weaken dies, but you swing for 35, and then it can like pop back and give you another filter. Seems like a good like throughout the game like card, good opener, and like can inform your brainstorms and stuff later. But
the implication of the card that for the decks that it was ran in is that it mills 6 cards over 2 turns if it hits, which for decks playing standby was very nice. But outside of that,
at the start of your opponent's draw, I guess it always mills 2, right? Like so,
yeah,
it's like start of okay. So you could just like play it and like mill 2.
Yeah, if you
that's not optional though either.
No, so if you hit over 2 turns, it mills 6, which is why people were playing it for like early game, lots of deck speed, while also just giving you an attacker unlike other deck speed cards that like would die or like not be able to play board or anything like that. This like plays for board, can check your top card for standby, which is might be nice, because you know it's May, the marker's May, and then when it dies or at the end of the turn, just mills more cards. So for decks that want to load up their grade, yeah, for decks that wanted to load up their grave and still wanted to like play a card that would attack at level 0, this kind of did both things at once and saved slots. So for that, it's like fine.
I feel like you got to be careful with this one. Like, you have a couple of these down on your field, and it's like, oh wow, my perfect deck of cancels is gone.
I mean, you don't play this past first deck ever. I don't think you like leave this thing on the board. If you play it in the late game, you like crash it or tie it to avoid milling, unless you really have to.
Then do you play this card as a 4-of?
I mean, you want to open it early, so you have to.
But it's like, it feels bad to play later in the game, which is
like most level 0s.
That's
not great.
how it is.
Yeah, it is worse than. Well, that's the trade off, right? It's really good early game where you want to get through your first deck, but the trade off is it's hard to field later. All right, next, another Chisato, 1/0 Her drawback for being a 1/0 for an effect is that the character across from her gets Encore 2. On attack, as long as you have a Climax down, reveal the top card of your deck. It's level 1 higher, send it to stock. One of the ways to stock charge without playing the crazy choice package. Notably, there is another level 1 combo that rearranges their top on attack, making it even easier to hit this. You have a way to sort of influence it, but even as it stands, I think the card is more than fine as an auxiliary level 1. Simple but easy. Next card. Ollie, go ahead.
I got this 2/1 Chisato. When it's played from stage to hand, you can discard a card. If you do, choose a character in your waiting room, add to hand. And during the Climax phase, when the door is placed in your Climax area, you can send this to waiting room. If you do, choose a 3/2 Chisato in your hand, place it on stage in this card's former slot, and then the 3/2 Chisato is 500 for each other. And then when this card attacks, choose up to one card of your opponent's waiting room, put it on top or bottom of their deck, and it has hand encore.
This is a big, like, what? This 2/1 has 2 soul as well, by the way. But this card is, like, designed to never attack. So, like, I don't know. These cards are some dolphin cards. I, to this day, do not understand the point of these. The 3/2 Chisato on her own is a pretty decent card in a standby deck, of which the set does have 8 standby. Even if one of the standbys is a box topper promo that combos with nothing, you could play 8 standby or hybrid standby, and that 3/2 specifically is pretty good. But this 2/1 is like a big what? It's like a stupid manatee card.
One of the box toppers is a standby Climax?
It's just empty, yeah.
Oh, that's
dude. Lycoris Recoil is really weird. This part of the combo I think is like weird dog shit manatee insano card. But the other card is like totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why you'd play this.
Yep.
Like, what's the point of like?
You had like some
the
cracked
early play?
ICT.
Not even like a good early play.
Sick.
Yeah. It's just weird. All right.
Well, on its own, it's a 2/1.
2 soul
Climax
drop
combo
salvage.
aside, it's a 2/1, 2 soul.
Drop
discard
salvage.
That's actually pretty solid.
That's like fine, but I still wouldn't play that.
It's like a 1 at the most.
I think it's easy to like just tunnel vision and be negative because you see like a shitty combo.
No, I don't even care about the combo.
Base of the card.
It's just like a 2/1
I think
5K.
like the base of a card 2/1 2 souls, free salvage. That's not bad.
I guess it's like I would play it where I played a drop salvage, but it's a drop salvage I can only play at level 2. That's how I'm looking at it. I don't even care about the other line of text.
That's fair. That's fair.
I would just play a normal.
I guess I'm looking at the 2 souls first. But you're right.
All right, back to the top. Andy's favorite profile.
Chisato. Brainstorm. Fuck. When you reveal a climax with a door when you attack, your opponent. Whoa, what?
Yep.
Oh, this is a weird one. Okay, when your character's trigger check reveals a door your opponent mills for. Huh. And then it's a brainstorm top check 3. I like
Dude,
top check 3 brainstorms. Those are like probably like some of the best that exist right now.
Dude, who needs stock swap when you just mill all your opponent's climaxes?
I remember when I was talking about Lycoris Recoil with Jason, he's like, yeah, because you don't have stock swap, you should just play the door level one, even though it's like doesn't set up the combo like the pants. You just play this and just tell your opponent to mill their whole deck all the time, and maybe you get lucky and mill out their climaxes. And I was like, maybe that is what Lycoris Recoil has to do. Maybe you just have to have this card sit down and you randomly coin flip your opponent's deck every single turn.
Okay. All kidding aside, like the fact that it's a must, it's not like a may. Like I reveal a climax, I don't get to choose. Like, okay, I want you to mill 4 now.
Yeah,
or
you just
you're in a good deck state for me, so just eat the damage. Like it's forced, so it could like help them.
Yeah,
it's just you're literally coin flipping their deck state.
So like, I don't know. Have you played with the card, Carmen? Is that like a line of text you can just like ignore? Like, statistically speaking,
when you only play 4 doors, you can for the most part. Because the only time I play this card down to the board when I play one as a tech card to find climaxes and like patch deck speed, where I play the card as like a 1 of text like deck speed card. If you play this card as like a 2 or more of, and you're playing 8 door, which I have done, it's either really funny and you sit across from your opponent and your opponent mills all their climaxes and they go, "Oh my god, card is broken, insane." Or, they mill directly to a cancel. So it's literally random. It's just, it effectively does nothing except push your opponent closer to a refresh point, which I think generally is seen as a positive.
It's what we call confirmation bias cards.
Yeah, it is a confirmation
bias card. I was
going
to say both of those things, actually. Like, when it works and, like, your opponent, like, oh, they milled clean cards and then they canceled, it feels bad. But when they mill climaxes and then they eat shit, like, feels good. But that, I think that just washes. It's just like,
yeah, it effectively does quote unquote nothing,
statistically speaking,
except it mills your opponent towards a refresh point.
That was what I wanted to get at too.
Yeah,
is like if you have multiples of these on your field and you trigger like a couple climaxes, if you're playing like 8 door, let's say, you have like a couple of these in your back row, like, I don't know, like, if you've actually played with it, Carmen, maybe you can speak to it, but like,
I have triggered. And
does it add up? Like, just like, hey, fuck, like have one of these in your front row too. Like they're milling 12 cards.
I was gonna say I hit Brandon with this and I milled him for 12, and he did mill out all of his climaxes and call it broken, and that's what I was making fun of.
I'm not even talking about like, oh, you milled your climaxes and ate shit. I'm talking like the incremental damage of like, okay, like over the course of like 2, 3, 4, like I don't know, over the course of the game, like you're milling enough cards to like eat like a few extra points of like refresh.
Oh yeah, no, that's real. That's the benefit of the card. I think that if you're playing 8 door, you definitely like play 2 of this for the chance to like have it be your other lane in the back row. The problem is like you really want to have, if you're playing the finishing package, you're playing Kermi Brainstorm as your primary brainstorm. And then it's also part of your yellow splash, and then it's also, what you want to have on field for your finisher. So you usually
Which one's Kermi? Is Kermi
the yellow one. The salvage,
walnut.
Yeah, the one that top checks your opponent's 2 cards. So your chances to have this sit on the board are very minimal unless you just like say that you're just gonna play this as your primary brainstorm and you don't care about Kermi, which I think is probably a mistake. However, it is really funny. And, like, I think over the course of a game, if you're playing 8 door, you actually probably could get an extra refresh point or 2 out of your opponent that they otherwise wouldn't. Because you're probably... The mills even out, right? For every mill that's bad for them, there's a mill that's good for them. So
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like the raw damage of like you mill them enough cards to get that guaranteed point of refresh.
You probably get like 1 extra refresh point on damage by like playing into this, which like
And
could matter.
And when you say that, is that with 1 in the back row or 2 in the back row?
That is probably with the way most Reco decks end up playing. I don't know how you ever have 2 of this in the back row with what cards you want in the back row in every deck. I don't think you ever can.
Even just reading this card though, like it itself is like a look at 3 brainstorm, right? Like just in a vacuum, like okay, they're milling 4 cards every time you trigger. Like maybe it leads to a few extra points of damage. But what if they're playing a deck that like relies on like a Minami sort of combo, like a camera, like look at top 4, like take 1 sort of effect, or they have their own like top check 3 brainstorm, right? You know, maybe they're getting like a few extra points there. You know what I mean? Like depending on the matchup, it could be like even better if they're milling a lot.
Maybe. I think at the end of the day, it's probably like 1 extra refresh point, which is like, I mean, it's definitely fine. It's definitely a good passive effect. Does it make or break a build? No. Is it really funny? Yes.
Well, making or breaking a build like that leads. Okay, is 8-door viable? Is there an 8-door?
Oh yeah,
for
yeah.
Lycoris?
We saw the 2 8-door combos, the finisher and the level 1.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It was part blue, so like I kind of got confused there. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can if you play that level 1 combo, you can. I mean, I would throw 1 of this in my deck no matter what. Probably
it would just be a 1. Oh, so if you played 8-door, have you played 8-door?
Yeah, I said I did multiple times. Yeah, I
Okay,
played 8-door, and I have played up to 3 copies of this card.
Up to 3. Okay, that's what I was getting at.
And yes, it is very funny, but also it effectively does quote unquote nothing. And I think the benefits of the pants combo with the stock charger pushes me towards that one, but like also the free stun of the other one is like nice to have. The fact that you don't have access to decompression does make the random mills like quote unquote better, because okay, when you versus having the random mills versus not, if the random mills are in your deck, even if they quote unquote do nothing or make a game better for your opponent, it does open up the possibility for your opponent to be in a bad deck state because of your mills, which would cause them to spend resources, be less compressed, which would increase the range of your finisher. So I think that if I was playing 8-door, I would probably try to play 2 copies of this and maybe play less of another deck speed card and play this down more aggressively as a card that I brainstorm with to try to get through my deck or do deck control with on 1 turn and then promote on a following turn. So I get at least 2 turns of having 1 instance of the effect down. But I don't think there's a way for a Reco deck of any build to like actively have multiple of this on the field at a time without shooting itself in the foot. Does that answer your questions? And like I think even in 8-door, playing to have multiple of this down would make your deck worse, not better.
Okay. I mean, I haven't seen like the whole set yet. I mean, we still have like the rest of red and blue to get to.
We got like 1 more card till we get to the X Factor, and you'll see what I mean about the back row.
It's just such a cool card. I've never seen anything like that. The force.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely fucking good. It's probably a B.
What do you think, Ollie?
I mean, it's fine. I think generally that text is just you're literally just coin flipping your deck.
Yeah.
Your deck. Every time you trigger a climax, it's like
end of the day it is a coin flip.
It's good for being a check 3 brainstorm. I think the other text is like you just have to like ignore it for the most part. Sometimes it'll help you, sometimes it won't.
Next card. Got this Mizuki. It is a level 1 reverse bomb, and then you can discard a card and send this card to the bottom of the deck to salvage a character. Nice little utility as well as being an auxiliary level 1. Simple but strong.
Is sending to bottom of deck better than sacking it to waiting room?
It's about the same. I don't think it functionally matters. It's probably worse because you can't salvage it again. But off a door.
It's also weird that it's a bomb, but you like want to bottom deck itself.
Costless filters are nice though. All right, here's the card. Ollie, go ahead. You get him.
It's the boy. We got the 1/1 Majima. This is a continuous assist. All your characters in front of this card gain the following ability. When this card is reversed, if you have less stock than your opponent, send this card to stock. And it has pay 2 rest to salvage a character.
This is the card you want in your back row.
Yeah, so this effectively makes all of your characters in front of it run to stock when they get reversed, as long as you have less stock.
So if you're playing against a stock charging deck, or, you know, really any deck anyway, if you're behind in stock, you can put this card down and then immediately go to stock parity with your opponent on every single turn, no matter what you do on that turn. This card enables you to do nutty stuff, like spend a bunch of stock on Brainstorms to control your deck if you need to. Early play every turn. Use his own effect to put you at a stock negative to get a plus, and then immediately get your stock back. Notably, again,
that's cheeky.
Your mid game in Lycoris Recoil, I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's absolute fucking garbage dog shit. And this card lets you pretend to play a mid game by sending all of your cards you can't win field with to stock while trying to loop your combo to keep up your hand size. This card is like the one card like keeping the deck like afloat in the mid game. Because without this, you literally all you have is that early play healer and you have fucking nothing, which is not enough. And this is the only card that keeps you going.
I think this card
do you just get
the
to
reason to play the set, to be honest.
Do you just get to go into, like, does this just guarantee you always have like a fuckload of stock on your kill turn?
Provided you are playing into an opponent that does not mash double brainstorm every turn and like just blow all the resources every single turn, yes. And in those matches, you're probably ahead anyway. So you don't need to play the card.
What's that have to do with your opponent mashing brainstorm? Like, I mean,
it only works when your opponent has less stock. Opponent has more stock than you. So you can you can only ever use it to get to stock parity. So if your opponent is blowing their stock all the time, like pay 3 saving characters, or just like randomly mashing brainstorm when it doesn't do anything, then yeah, the card doesn't do anything. But in those matchups, I would argue you're probably in a good enough in games where that kind of thing is happening, you are probably in a good enough position to not need to field this card at all. So I don't consider it a downside of the card. The fact that he's paid to salvage is the thing that puts it over the edge.
That is, I like what you say there too. Like, even though he only brings you to parity, you can put yourself at a deficit.
Yeah, because
you can choose to do that to like get the plus and then like pull yourself back up.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. It's this card is like absolutely insane. I agree with Ollie. This is like the reason to play Lycoris Recoil currently, because it's the only this and another package, which I do not respect and do not think is very good, are like the only reasons people are looking at Lycoris Recoil. But this card's fucking insane. It's really a card you need to play with. If you're reading this and you think this is like underwhelming and why are we nutting about it, you only need to play with this card once to realize how strong it is, or watch it be played once. Like look at some gameplay, like Flame Insanity or
imagine like half your, instead of like your field just getting run over and dying, imagine it just goes to stock for no reason.
Yeah,
like it pays for itself pretty quickly, I imagine, right?
I mean, back when I was playing,
you pay 1, and then over the course of like the next few turns, like
bro,
you get all that plus back.
I was playing and testing Lycoris Recoil when Alice was at its peak, and let me tell you, this card put in work because Alice makes so much stock so early, and I was just rolling like all game. Because you think about it, this is free Adachis, this is free early plays, this is a free plus every turn. You know, provided your opponent's stock charging on you. Because you can always, at the very least, match them +1, right? Or match them +2 at maximum. Because the first lane puts you at parity, and then you generate 2 stock. So you can always be parity +2 to your opponent with this card on the board. So if your opponent's having a good game, provided you get enough cancels and have enough time, you can have a good game too. And that's why this card's so powerful. Because he just cheats resources. Cheating resources, good.
You never have to look at your opponent sitting on like a mountain of like 9 stock while you sit there with like a few stock and be like, damn, must be nice.
Yeah, you can claw your way back. And because it's like to front, you can always you can win board and still get the benefit too. Because your opponent's stock goes up, right? When they're attacking. So like you can win
swing back over you. Yeah, I guess
yeah,
that's true, right?
you can still get the benefit, yeah. The card is unbelievably sneaky and unbelievably powerful and has an endless amount of ways to use it. You just got to sleeve it up and play it.
Pretty cool.
An insane card in a barren wasteland.
Yeah.
As much as I hate
you have all that stock. What are you using your stock on? I guess is like the.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. There is well, there's another finisher that you might want to play, but it requires even more stock than I think Majima can provide. But there's another deck for it.
Okay.
I think generally the best thing you can just be doing is either spamming early plays or just hoarding stock for your finisher turn.
Yeah, that's about all you can do. Hoarding stock so that you can like Fumio and do full combo, or like fake stock swap and do your full combo, which would be 10 stock for both of those.
Yeah.
So
yeah, maybe Premium Booster will give them something.
I sure to God hope so, because I love this show. All right, moving on back to Andy.
Okay. Ooh, standby combo here, Chisato. If you got the standby down, this card in any area gains standby. So, if you trigger this while you have the standby down, this counts as a standby. Pretty good. If you have 3 or more other characters, it's a 3,000, so it's a 7,500 hand-on core. That's also a standby trigger. Seems pretty good.
The other standby is blank. This is your only standby combo.
Oh, that kind of fucking cringe then. But
yeah, you do have a way to shuffle this card back into your deck, so you can set up some cheeky stuff, kind of like how Quince does. But it's much worse.
God, that's a fucking shame. Like, it's a good combo too. Like, I feel like in general, it seems like a pretty decent combo. But
isn't this literally the Draken?
Yeah, it's literally Draken, I think. Yeah, it's Draken.
I don't know. You think we're getting Lycoris set too?
Yeah, we're getting a premium booster in JP. So another 50-ish cards.
This card's cool because like it's a card that you are totally fine with standbying away, as opposed to like Nino, where it's like cool you triggered it and you gotta stand by it. Now you need to get it out of your stock somehow.
Because it's a finisher. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's this you can just let it sit and
let it rot. Stock. Yeah, who cares? Yeah. All right, moving on.
This next card looks like right up your alley, Carmen.
Music, I love her. She's the best. It's a 1-card Fumio for pay 1, ditch a card on play, so pay 2, ditch a card overall, and then she is a level 2 bomb. In terms of additional Fumio effects, you could do a lot worse, but you could also do a lot better, making this a B- because it's the only decompression in the set, so you got to play it. Wow. The only real decompression in the deck, let's be honest. All right, very funny. The Floodgate no one asked for. Ollie, go ahead.
All your other 1/0 Takinas get 1k power, and then pay 1, rest the standing card. When your other character is sent from stage to clock, you may pay cost if you do heal 1.
It's a Floodgate for clock kicks.
Wait, what? When your other character is sent from stage to clock, pay 1, rest this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get clock kicked.
You can use this with your level 0 Takina.
Yeah, I feel like it's meant more to be used with your own cards.
You
I
send it talking to the
guess
clock
it's
and get a plus, and
something.
then heal it off.
I guess it can trigger on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, you send the talking at a clock.
I don't know. Kind of seems
And
like
heal it.
fucking garbage to me.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
pretty
funny.
garbage.
Not good. All right, we got the dad's package. Go ahead, Andy.
The dad's package.
Oh yeah, these
Is that a
guys.
spoiler? I guess it's not really
I don't
a
know.
spoiler.
Oh, now it's a
They're-
spoiler that you say it.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know. I've never seen it. You have another Shinji. Is that the other dad?
Yeah, it's the white guy.
I guess.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All of your other characters with Chisato get 500 power. When you play your Climax, you can pay 1, look at 4 cards for a character. And then, what is the second half the other dad?
Yeah, second half Shinji, top half.
Okay,
Mika.
so if you have another 0/0 Mika, which is this dad, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so if you have this other guy, all your other characters with Chisato get the following ability at the start of your encore step. If you don't have any other rested characters in your front row, you can pay 1 rest this. Like the Haruna encore, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Shinji has rest this, choose one of your characters, it gets 2,000 power.
It's a very flavorful little
So, okay,
package
wait.
here.
So Shinji gives, he can rest to give 2K, and then
he gives
the
all
Mika's also give
Chisato's Haruna, yeah.
Haruna, and then the Mika
Is a
that's the name. Yeah,
Amagi.
gives all your Chisato's 500 power Amagi.
It's like a plussing, buffing engine. I've actually played this. It's like
I feel like I
better
just play
than
the
it reads.
Mika on his own as the Amagi.
Well,
and
yeah,
just,
he's the best part of it. Mika's based. He's the best character. Actually, Mika's the best character.
Oh, it's every Chisato gets 500. It's like
You could,
whatever, I guess.
you could save your combo and use it next turn.
It's like a C+ for being an Amagi, and the Shinji sucks.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
He is an asshole. Fuck Shinji. Fuck Shinji
2K
in
every
every
turn's
show.
not the worst, but
Fuck Shinji in every show.
Yeah, name one good Shinji. I'll
No
wait.
good Shinjis.
weren't we talking about Evangelion and
We were.
what's the other one? The fake one.
Fake.
The ripoff. What's
The
it called?
fake Evangelion.
Yeah, what's it called?
There are many.
Oh, Darling of the Franks.
Darling in the
Every-
Franks.
every masterpiece has its carbon copy.
Mm-hmm.
I like Darling of the Franks, but everyone who's watched that seething right now for me saying
All right.
that.
We got Lolly
The copy,
Chisato. If you have the dads, she gets 2K. She's 3K. And then on play, you can discard a character to search your deck for either dad and add it to your hand.
You need both dads for it to get the power?
You need both dads for it to get the power, but she can.
It doesn't
Yeah.
even say out of 4K.
She
This
can-
card fucking
She can
sucks.
search your dad.
Yeah, she
Searches your dad.
needs parental.
She needs
guidance in her
both
life.
dads.
She needs both
Yeah.
dads, so that's the problem.
Well, Mika's
One father figure's not enough. That's the problem.
Mika's the only real dad.
Yeah,
Mika
other dad
based.
sucks.
All right, here's the other package everybody was hype about, but here they're cards that I hate. All of you can read them.
Oh, okay. I got a 1/0 Chisato. If you have one or less other characters in your front rows, gets 4K power. Start your attack phase of this is standing, and you have one or less other characters in your front row. Put one card from the top of your deck to stock. Then look at one card from the top of your deck. Choose a Lycoris Recoil or weapon character from among them. Show it to your opponent. Add to your hand.
The dual laner, but
So you have one or less other. Okay, so it's like a union effect, right?
well, no, it's dual
right.
laning. Yeah, it's union, but you dual lane. It's so you
Okay.
get 4 stock. If you have 2
Was
of
there a
these and you
talking on
attack
that one with
twice,
this?
yeah, there is a talking. That's the next card.
Well, that's a 2.
I'll just read it. It's a 2/1 dual laner.
Oh.
If you have one or less other characters in your front row, this gets 4,000 power, so it's a 10K. And then at the start of your attack phase, if this is standing and you have one or less other characters in your front row, put 3 cards from the top of your deck into
Whoa.
stock. Notably, this talking that can trigger from the back
Oh.
row If you have 4 Takinas on your board, you can stock charge 4 times with 2 Takinas in the back row and 2 Takinas in the front row.
So why do people like this package?
Because
What do you mean? Why do people like this package? That's a fuckload of stock. Holy shit!
Yeah, because it generates a fuckload of stock, and then you look at your opponent.
Okay.
Well, it's like GGO's. It's like GGO dual laners, but without the soul, which makes it lame.
Okay.
GGO dual laners were dope because your opponent goes,
Well, it's
how much
also
stock
with
do you
2
have?
level 1s.
I don't know. GGO never got 3 stock per card.
Okay, but in GGO,
This doesn't even come
you
online
swung-
until 2.
You swung for
Oh,
3
fuck
soul.
off. That's who cares? Who
In
cares?
GGO, you swung into your opponent for 3 soul twice, and they ate it, and you were like, yeah. And then your opponent asked you, how much stock do you have? And you said 18. And they were like, how many Climax are in there? And you said, I don't know. Because it was all blind. So you were immune to stock swap.
Dude, this
You also had
card
a
legitimately, I don't care. Like, it's only at level 2. Like, you could tap out completely, put these on your field, and it's like, okay, I have like 9 stock now.
You get
Plus
12.
what I swing for.
You get 14 in 1 turn.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not being that ambitious. I'm quad fielding this, but like, tri-field?
Just play Majima.
I hate the dual laner play pattern. I think it's bad. I understand.
But again, what do you do with the stock? What do you do with the stock?
Lose to slime.
Is there like a burn event? Like, is there
Hell,
anything
you
that
lose
can
to
use that?
Kaguya. You lose to Bang Dream. Playing Buns for Luck.
Imagine losing to Bang Dream.
You lose to
Couldn't
Bang. Yeah,
be.
what do you do with all that stock? Lose to any deck that can stock swap you before 3.
Oh
Instantaneously.
no, I like the second card. The first one I don't care for.
I mean, if you play the second card, you play the first
I
card.
think the first card is the good part.
They're just the fucking dual laners, dude. Like, I don't like them. Like, you can tell me every benefit of playing this dual laner deck where you play down the Takina and you burn for 3 a bazillion times with your 14 stock that you made at 1 turn, and I'll say, well, your opponent just cancels every single 3 that you throw at them because they're compressed and you don't have stock swap.
God, fuck, dude. God damn, like
I'm a rain
the
cloud.
the two
I'm
the
darkest
2-1
rain
on
cloud.
its own. The 2-1 on its own, just 2 copies, makes 8 stock. You tap out for it, and then you have like 8 stock. You get it untapped with 8 stock the next turn.
Yeah. But what do you do with it?
A lot.
You play some TD
I
Chisato
don't know.
burn ones, and then the Takina finisher. Which is, like, the Takina finisher is just on attack burn 3 twice. And it costs a bazillion stock. That's what you do. But, like, 3 is an easy number to cancel. And
I don't care. In a vacuum, that's a good fucking card. I'm
I
standing by
guess.
it.
I guess it can be good. Vacuously, I'll give you the vacuum. I'll put it up to a C. But I don't know. In the context of Lycoris Recoil, if they had better decompression, yeah, I'm sure there's a crazy deck that could take advantage of this. But without it, I hate level 1 dual laners. Whatever. All right, event. We'll wrap up red here. To Chisato, if you don't have the card named Chisato, you can't play this. Perform the following effect 4 times. Surveil the top card of your deck. So you look at the top card of your deck, put it, leave it there, put it in the waiting room, and then you send this to memory. It's a 2/2 event counter.
When I look at this card,
The money
reminded-
counter.
I'm reminded of a game that I played against one of my locals playing Symphogear. He had triple of the Chris that scries, and he scried 9 times in that attack step and still did not cancel once.
Well, 50% of the time, this works every time. So I reject your example. And
Yeah.
It's 4
So-
times. That's like an extra,
I mean,
like
this
a compass buffer 4.
this probably does like get a cancel most of the time.
I think this event is actually pretty good. It just doesn't. There's no way to bond for it. There are cards that just pick up events, but you can't grab specifically this event, which I think makes it worse. I think if you could play 1 or 2 of this and grab it off a more muted finisher turn, it would actually be pretty sick. But because there's no way to play a lean count of it and just like kind of have it incidentally, whereas
Why not?
Well, because
It's like opposition by the
because you
shield. No
don't-
one's bonding to opposition
be-
by the shield.
Well, because Andy, you don't have finishers that cantrip, and like you don't have good access to your climaxes already. So if you had either of those things, you could play cards that made this card easier to see, or dedicate more slots to it. But you don't.
I think the raw power of it's like justifies it on its own. Especially if you're playing the brainstorm that we talked about earlier. Like, if you just incidentally have a Chisato on your field, this card gets a lot better.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have a Chisato on your field pretty much all the time. Your general attackers are Chisato, especially in the end game. If you're playing like you either have a Chisato EP healer hanging out or your finisher. So I don't think it's impossible to have. It's just that it's an event, and your finisher package cantrips selectively characters from grave. So you don't really have a way to pick this up outside of holding it.
I mean, this comes online at level 2, though. Too.
Sure, but it doesn't. It only keeps your damage, and you usually don't have. I'm gonna be honest. You usually don't have a front row at level 2. It's gonna be completely level with you here. With Lycoris Recoil, you don't have a front row at level 2 because your mid game is so garbage. Everyone runs it over, or backups over you, and you just crash your cards from Majima, and pray you cancel. That's your mid game. That's why we need premium booster. You really only have a chance to use this on your finisher turn. But when you do get to use it, it's pretty cool. I've definitely used this in like 2 lanes in a deck built around it and lived, but it was like a shitty meme deck. All right, Red, finishing it out. Notable profiles. We have a 500 assist to front, another weird brainstorm. This is a pay 1 rest brainstorm to summon cost 0 characters from waiting room. If you remember Troublemaker Aqua from Konosuba, it's that card.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
There is a level 0 reverse bomb that has pay 1 sack this. Look it up to top 4. Add character or 2/2 event. I can't remember which 2/2 event that is. Let me.
Blue one?
I think it's probably the blue one. Most of them bond the blue one, but I can double check here. I want to. They just said there was no way to grab that event, and I don't want to be a liar. 2/2 event. It doesn't say which one. What was that called? That was called. Okay, I lied. There is one way to grab this, and it's with this pay 1 top check 4.
Okay, it gets a plus from you then.
Yeah. Right.
1 grade higher.
One way to get it is off the top 4 of your deck with the specific card. 3K memory kick backup. Here's the way to shuffle cards back into deck. Important if you are playing that standby combo we played, where we talked about where the cheese deck with this was to play standby, as well as the 2/1 Takinas here to stock charge a bunch, and then with these at the bottom of your deck after milling out to a certain amount of cards and stock charging, standby out your finisher, so you can use all that stock you generated for just the finisher cost. So this card can be important for that. It's come and play console for character event. Shuffle back 2 characters to get +1 soul. The cost to shuffle back is the important part, not so much the get 1 soul part. And then there's a sort of free, quote-unquote, 2K to front assist, 2K to level 3s in front. And then come and play a form or other, you stock a character from waiting room. Would we like to soldier on with Blue, or would we like to cut it to another video? Your guys' choice.
I can keep
Let's-
going.
No, I think we cut it.
Okay. Yeah, we can cut it. All right. We will see you all for Blue and wrapping up Lycoris Recoil tomorrow.